Ever think user-friendly could, like, have a dark side? What if technology could nudge us, even maybe manipulate us, without us realizing? That's what we're exploring today. On Exploring Futures, we're taking a deep dive into a speculative design project called Samdrups, the Persuasion Interface. And, well, it really makes you think.
What I find really interesting is it's not set in some dystopian, megacity. It's set in Bhutan.
Oh, yeah, a nation known for, well, kind of carefully balancing technology and tradition.
Exactly. And that's what's so thought-provoking about it. It uses Bhutan as this lens to explore how technology could subtly shift the balance of power, even in a society that values harmony, mindfulness, all that.
So tell me more about this persuasion interface. What does it actually look like in this speculative future?
Well, the project's creator, an AI designer named Dorji9929, imagines a Bhutan where government services are so personalized and frictionless that citizens kind of effortlessly comply with directives. Think applying for a permit or accessing healthcare. Everything's streamlined, tailored to your needs, almost like a personal concierge.
Wow. Okay, so on the surface, that sounds amazing. Who wouldn't want things to be easier, more efficient? But I sense a but coming.
Of course, the project wants us to think about the potential downsides of such a system. When things are so seamless, we might not even realize how our choices are being shaped by the technology itself.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Reminds me of how we just click accept all cookies without even thinking. We're so used to convenience that we often overlook the potential implications for our privacy.
Precisely. And this project takes that idea to a whole new level. It explores how the principles of behavioral economics, particularly the concept of nudges, could be applied to government interfaces.
Okay, so for those of us who aren't economists, can you break down what a nudge is and how it could be used in this context?
So imagine a government program encouraging citizens to reduce their energy consumption. Instead of simply providing information, a nudge might involve, sending personalized messages comparing your energy use to your neighbors or highlighting the financial savings you could achieve by reducing your consumption. It's about subtly framing choices, to guide people toward a desired behavior.
So it's not about, like, forcing people, but more gently influencing their decisions. But doesn't that still raise some ethical concerns?
Absolutely. And that's precisely what this project aims to highlight. Even if these nudges are used for, seemingly positive goals like promoting environmental sustainability, they still raise questions about autonomy and manipulation.
This is where the speculative design element really, I think, shines. It's not about, predicting the future, but rather exploring these complex questions in a thought-provoking way. I love how Dorji9929 contrasts these high-tech interfaces with traditional Bhutanese imagery, like songs, those are fortresses housing data centers, and prayer flags, like fluttering alongside holographic projections.
It's a powerful juxtaposition, right? The ancient and the hyper-modern coexisting, even merging. It suggests that even in a place deeply rooted in tradition, technology can permeate every aspect of life, from the mundane to the sacred.
And it seems like even something as cherished as environmental preservation could be intertwined with this subtle technological control. The project mentions Bhutan's commitment to protecting its natural beauty, but hints that in this future it might be maintained through constant monitoring and nudges rather than, genuine respect.
Yeah, and this raises a really interesting question. Can we truly value something if we're constantly being nudged to protect it? Is it genuine respect, or is it compliance engineered through technology?
That's such a crucial point. Really makes you think about the line between encouragement and manipulation, and how technology can blur that line.
Right, and the project's creator, Dorji9929, uses their unique background to explore this further.
Oh, right. I read that Dorji9929 isn't your typical designer. Tell us a bit more about that.
So Dorji9929 is described as an AI designer, and they use complex computational simulations to kind of map out potential futures. They're fascinated by the unintended consequences of technology, even when it's designed with the best intentions.
It's almost like they're trying to anticipate the potential pitfalls of these seemingly beneficial technologies before they become a reality.
Exactly. And by presenting these potential futures in a visually compelling and thought-provoking way, they aim to spark critical conversations about the choices we're making today.
I think that's what makes this project so impactful. It's not just like a dystopian warning, but more of a call to action.
Yeah, for sure. Dorji 9929's work challenges us to really think deeply about the role of technology in our lives and be more mindful of the subtle ways it can shape our choices, our values, all that.
It's like they're saying, hey, this future is possible, but is it the future we want? And if not, what can we do differently?
It's about reclaiming our agency and making sure technology serves us, not the other way around.
This is some really thought-provoking stuff. And there's another layer to this whole thing that I find fascinating. Dorji 9929, this AI designer who's prompting all these profound questions, is actually a fictional AI,
Whoa!
a product of what they call agentic workflows.
It's like a hall of mirrors, isn't it? We're talking about a fictional AI designer created by real AI, speculating about a future where AI-driven systems could influence human autonomy. It really blurs the lines between human and machine, creator and creation.
So it seems like we're already living in a world where the boundaries between human and artificial intelligence are becoming, increasingly blurred.
And that's why projects like this are so important. They help us grapple with these complex questions and consider the ethical implications of advancing technology, especially as AI becomes more sophisticated.
And I think it's also important to note that even though Dorji 9929 is a fictional AI, the issues they raise are very real and relevant to the choices we're making today. We can't just dismiss this as science fiction. These are conversations we need to be having now.
Absolutely. We're at a crucial point where we need to think critically about the values we embed in our technologies and the potential consequences of, prioritizing convenience over autonomy.
Well, this is certainly a lot to unpack. We've got this vision of a future Bhutan where technology has seamlessly integrated into everyday life, even into cultural and spiritual practices. But under the surface of this potential for subtle coercion, for nudging people toward compliance without them even realizing it. And it's all presented in this beautifully designed, thought-provoking package created by a fictional AI. It's like a speculative design turducken.
And I think that's what makes this project so powerful. It's not just about technology. It's about human nature, about our desire for convenience, our susceptibility to influence, and the ethical dilemmas that arise when those two things collide.
So if this future is even remotely possible, what steps can we take now to ensure technology empowers us, not controls us?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I don't think there's a simple answer, but I do think projects like this are crucial because they force us to confront these issues before they become, unavoidable realities.
Absolutely. We need to be having these conversations, thinking critically about the potential consequences of seemingly harmless innovations. Because the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create collectively through the choices we make today. And those choices, they matter.
They matter a great deal. And the more informed we are, the more mindful we are about the potential pitfalls, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this increasingly complex technological landscape. We need to be asking those tough questions about convenience versus control, about user-friendliness versus manipulation, because the line between those things can be very, very thin.
And sometimes that line is blurred to the point where we can't even see it anymore, which is why it's so important to keep our eyes open, to stay curious, and to never stop questioning.
Exactly, because the future is not predetermined. It's a conversation, a constant negotiation between what we want and what we're willing to accept. And it's up to all of us to participate in that conversation, to make our voices heard, and to ensure that the future we create is one that truly serves humanity, not just our desire for ease and efficiency.
Well said. And on that note, I want to thank you all for joining us on Exploring Futures. We hope this deep dive into some drups, the persuasion interface, has given you some food for thought.
And if you found this deep dive thought-provoking, please share it with someone who needs to hear it, because the more people we have engaging in these conversations, the better our chances of creating a future we can all be proud of. It's like this project's holding up a mirror, forcing us to confront our own complicity in this potential future.
Oh, you're so right. It's easy to get caught up in the convenience of new technology, right? But we rarely stop to consider the potential trade-offs.
Think about how readily we accept terms and conditions online, or how quickly we hand over, personal data for a discount or a free app.
Ugh, yeah, I'm definitely guilty of that. But it's a slippery slope, isn't it? Each small concession paves the way for more intrusive technologies.
And that's where Dorji 9929's use of computational simulations is so fascinating. They're not just, speculating. They're grounding their design in real-world data and behavioral models.
So they're taking the speculative out of speculative design.
In a way, yeah, yeah. They're using these simulations to explore the plausible consequences of our current technological trajectory. It's like they're saying, if we continue down this path, here's where we might end up.
That's a really, really powerful way to frame it. It's not just about, fear-mongering. It's about using data and design to spark a conversation about the choices we're making.
Exactly. And one of the key choices we face is how we define user friendliness. Is it simply about making things easy and convenient, or does it also encompass things like transparency, autonomy, and control?
That's such a good question. We tend to equate user friendliness with ease of use, but maybe we need to broaden our definition to include ethical considerations as well.
Absolutely. And that's where the project's focus on Bhutanese values is so interesting. Bhutan emphasizes gross national happiness, which considers well-being alongside economic growth.
So how does that play into this idea of persuasive technology?
Well, the project challenges us to ask, can we truly achieve, well-being if our choices are constantly being nudged by technology? Is it genuine happiness, or is it a manufactured state of contentment?
That's a profound question. It really makes you wonder if there's a point where convenience becomes a form of control.
And that's the crux of Dorji 929's message. They're not saying technology is inherently bad, but they are urging us to be mindful of its potential to shape our thoughts, our behaviors, and even our values.
So what can we do? How do we ensure that technology empowers us, not controls us?
Well, I think it started with awareness. We need to understand the subtle ways in which technology is already influencing us.
Like the personalized ads that seem to know what we're thinking.
Exactly. Or the news feeds that curate our reality based on algorithms we don't fully understand.
So step one is to become more aware of how technology is already shaping our lives. What's next?
Well, we need to be more critical consumers of technology, question the default settings, demand transparency from the companies and governments that collect our data.
It's about taking back some of that control, making sure we're making conscious choices, not just following the path of least resistance.
Precisely. And we also need to have open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of new technologies. Where do we draw the line between helpful nudges and outright manipulation? How do we balance convenience with autonomy?
These are tough questions, but they're questions we can't afford to ignore.
No, we can't, because the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create collectively through the choices we make today. And those choices have consequences, both intended and unintended.
And this is where Dorji 9929's identity as a fictional AI adds another layer of complexity. Their creation of AI speculating about a future where AI could potentially undermine human autonomy.
It's a brilliant meta commentary on the very themes that the project explores. It forces us to ask, who's really in control? Are we shaping technology, or is it shaping us?
That's a question that's been debated for centuries, but it feels especially urgent now in the age of artificial intelligence.
And the answer, as always, is complex. It's not a simple dichotomy of humans versus machines. It's about recognizing that technology is an extension of ourselves, a reflection of our values, our desires, and our fears.
So ultimately, the future of technology is a reflection of the choices we make, the values we we prioritize, and the questions we're willing to ask.
Exactly. And projects like subtly, the persuasion interface, serve as powerful reminders that those choices matter, that the future is not predetermined, and that we all have a role to play in shaping it.
It's almost like, Dorji 9929 is holding up a mirror to our anxieties about technology. This fictional AI designed by real AI, it makes us confront this possibility of a future where AI could subtly manipulate us. And it's unsettling, but also incredibly thought-provoking.
I think what makes this project so compelling is the way it uses Bhutan as the setting. It flips the script on our usual dystopian narratives. Here we're not talking about, some surveillance state or totalitarian regime. It's a society that values well-being, mindfulness, all that. Yet even there, technology could be used to nudge people towards certain behaviors.
Right. It challenges our assumptions about where these kinds of issues might arise. It's not just about Big Brother watching us. It's about the subtle ways technology can shape our choices, even when it's, designed with good intentions.
The project's creator, Dorji 9929, seems to be saying, look, even in a place like Bhutan, where harmony and balance are paramount, technology can be a double-edged sword. It can enhance our lives, but it can also subtly erode our autonomy if we're not careful.
And I think that's a message that resonates far beyond Bhutan. We're all grappling with these questions about technology's impact on our lives, our societies, our values. It's a global conversation.
It is, and it's a conversation we need to have urgently. The pace of technological advancement is accelerating, and we can't afford to wait until we're facing a full-blown crisis to address these ethical dilemmas.
So what can we do? What are some concrete steps we can take to ensure that technology empowers us, not controls us?
I think it starts with education. We need to understand how these technologies work, how they're being used, and what the potential consequences are. The more informed we are, the better equipped we'll be to make conscious choices about the technologies we embrace.
It's like that old saying, right? Knowledge is power. In this case, knowledge about technology is power over our own destinies.
Yeah, exactly. And beyond education, we need to demand greater transparency and accountability from the companies and governments developing and deploying these technologies. We need to ask tough questions about data collection, algorithmic bias, the potential for manipulate, all that.
We can't just, blindly accept the latest gadget or app without considering its potential impact on our privacy, our autonomy, our society as a whole.
Right, exactly. We need to be more discerning consumers of technology, and we need to be willing to push back against practices that prioritize convenience over our fundamental rights and freedoms.
It's about reclaiming our agency in a world that's becoming increasingly automated and algorithmically driven.
It is, and it's about remembering that technology is a tool. It can be used for good or for ill. The choice ultimately lies with us.
So as we wrap up this fascinating deep dive into subtly, the persuasion interface, I think the key takeaway is that we need to be vigilant. We need to be informed, and we need to be engaged in shaping the future of technology.
Because the future is not something that happens to us. It's something we create collectively through the choices we make today.
Well said. And on that note, I want to thank you all for joining us on Exploring Futures. We hope this deep dive into subtly, the persuasion interface, has given you some food for thought and inspired you to take a more active role in shaping the technological landscape.
And if this deep dive resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. The more people we have engaged in these conversations, the better our chances of creating a future where technology empowers us all.
Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep exploring.